Did you know that some Mango features are invisible? Our conversation-based approach to language learning goes beyond what meets the eye and helps learners develop an intuition for second language grammar. Let's find out how this works. Every Mango chapter starts with a conversation that incorporates key vocabulary and grammar from that chapter. When you first listen to this conversation, you'll probably have a hard time understanding most, if not all of it. But don't worry, Mango's teaching approach centers around helping you understand and produce the language in that conversation, while also introducing you to related words, authentic phrases, and grammatical structures along the way. We call this approach intuitive language construction because it's designed to help you develop intuitions about your second language. Okay, so how does this work? Well, the core of our approach involves taking a sentence, breaking it down to its component parts, and then helping the learner, that's you, build that sentence back up. As you do this, you're exposed to relevant grammatical features of the language, you're quizzed on what you've learned so far, and you're challenged to create entirely new sentences based on what you already know. Mango's approach leverages the brain's ability to recognize patterns and create rules based on complex language input. We do this by giving you lots of different examples that show you how to use vocabulary and grammar in context. And one of the key characteristics of these examples is that they're always pushing learners to go just beyond their current abilities, which is consistent with theories of language learning, which suggest that learners do best when most, but not all, of the language input is familiar to them. So the idea here is that once learners have enough experience with how sounds and words go together in a language, they develop their ability to figure out the rest from context and inductive reasoning. Implicit, input-based approaches to language learning, like this one, help foster more automatic, fluent language use. However, this isn't always the most efficient way to learn. All right, so how does Mango help speed up this learning process? Well, believe it or not, one of the ways we do this is by setting learners up to fail. It's okay, I promise. We do this through educational traps, which are exercises designed to highlight difficult or unusual concepts in the target language. In educational traps, we ask learners to say something new, which should be possible given what they already know. But when the correct response is revealed, the learners discover that they were missing a small piece of the puzzle, which might be a new grammatical rule or an exception to an existing one. Now, encouraging errors may seem counterintuitive, but research actually shows that learners directly benefit from making mistakes and then receiving explicit corrective feedback. So that's why we follow educational traps with short and simple grammar notes, which highlight grammar points and explain why the language behaves differently than expected in that instance. Even outside of educational traps, we make sure to give you small doses of strategically placed grammatical information throughout each lesson to help you with challenging content. So this helps deepen your understanding of the structure of the language without the needs for drills or grammar tables. All right, now let's take a minute to recap how this hidden feature helps you learn. A lot of this comes down to a balance between implicit and explicit learning, which basically has to do with how much you're aware of what you're learning, or how much attention you're paying to language structure. Explicit learning conditions help learners focus their attention on important or more challenging aspects of language and give them opportunities to fix their mistakes and practice saying things correctly. This is also a more efficient way to learn, especially in the short term. Implicit learning conditions, on the other hand, drive learners to focus on meaning and develop intuitions to use language more naturally. Second language acquisition research suggests that language learners should focus primarily on meaning, but that learners benefit when teaching materials draw their attention to challenging linguistic concepts as they come up. Mango's approach to teaching finds this balance. We guide learners toward building an intuitive understanding of grammar. But when tricky grammatical concepts need a bit more attention, we incorporate explicit explanations to help accelerate learning and avoid confusion. And you know what? It works. After you finish lessons in a chapter, you'll have a chance to go back and listen to that chapter conversation again. And this time, I bet you'll understand the whole thing. And that is how intuitive language construction works in Mango Languages. For more information about how Mango can help you learn a language, visit our website and follow our channels. Bye!